this fell on the floor, so I lost a lot of it. It's like the palest yellow green.
I love that. Is that a Miles Conrad paint?
No, this is a pan pastel.
Oh, that's a pan pastel?
Hansa yellow tint.
Okay. I like it.
So are we going over the dress, or are we scraping down the dress, or?
I think you should just go over it, because I feel, so this is where you have to like make this decision. Like, do you like the texture and the shape of the dress?
Kind of, yes.
Okay, well, I feel like, again, like you kind of have to think like by gaining or losing. Like, what am I going to gain if I do this, and what am I going to lose? And what is more important, gaining or losing right now, right? So a lot of times I feel like I don't have what I want, and I'm not seeing anything. And that's my primary motivation for scraping, is that I'm searching, or I'm like digging. I'm in the like creation mode. Like, I want the impact of that action. I want to, you know, build up 3 layers, heat them up, scrape back, find something. But then when you like start adding wax back in to create like a form or a shape of something literal, once you have it, if you scrape back, you could lose it.
Right.
Right. So then you're like, oh wait, danger zone, like I'm not going to do that. So then you can think of other ways to modify it. Right? So other ways of modifying would be add another layer of a lighter color on top of it, right? You could add encaustic wax on top of it. You could add wax medium on top of it, and then add a light color pigment stick or pan pastel. You know, it's just like, do you want that? It's just, again, do you want it to be like smooth? And also, like, when you're working on a dress, you're like kind of like a fashion designer.
Yep.
Right? So you're thinking, does that dress have tooling? Does it have beads? Like, I think about what I know about clothing. Is it a lace top? Is it a corsety top? Is it a pearl brocade top? Is it, you know, string? You know, what is that top? And then those fun ideas about sort of dressing your painting, they give me ideas about what I can do with the wax, what patterns. Like, for example, if it was like a beaded top, you know, I might take a sharp, pointy pottery tool and poke little holes all over that chest piece, right? And what I would do with those little holes is then rub pigment stick into them, so those little holes all turn white or yellow or a color. And then you just start to sort of build this sort of it's like writing a little poem. You're like, all right, we're on this little, you're talking about this little dress, and there's these beautiful crystally little beads held together by silk thread that are, you know, cascading like teardrops down the front of her chest. I mean, so like that's like, that's what you're painting, right? You're not just painting a thing, like you know, it's more than a dress. It needs to be more than a dress, because that's what's fun about the painting. It makes it more interesting.
Right. No, for this, I think it's sort of, it's the central character. It is very, very, very deep violet at this point. In order, I think, to do yellow on top of that, would that work?
So you're saying it's violet. So do you want to put light purple in there, or you can put light yellow in there? I feel like if that was like a dress, and like we're like in a fairy tale and that's a dress, somehow it's going to be sparkly and it's going to be reflecting the flowers that are around it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I also like to connect colors in a painting with colors in a painting. So like if I use a color over here, I'm going to use a color over here. I'm going to use a color in here. I'm going to use, so maybe, but I like the idea of either poking little holes in there, or doing little drawings with a pottery tool, little like Nikki drawing, Nikki, right? Especially along either out that, this looks like a neckline to me.
It is.
Like this is the bosom.
Shoulder and neck. Shoulder and neck.
Right, what's this up here?
I can't see where you're pointing.
The top, what's at the top?
This is that tooling headpiece.
Right, but her head is not in it.
Well, yes, it is.
Oh, that's her face right there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. I see. Oh, her face is coming around. Okay, so the tooling. Okay, so the tooling could have like stripes that go in like this to represent the creases in the tooling, right? And then the chest piece is coming this way, and her shoulder is here. I see it. Yeah. So it's pretty beautiful. I love the way the light is hitting her face right there. That's gorgeous.
Nice. Okay, so maybe lavender.
Light yellowy lavender. How about a really light yellow lavender and lemon? Like a, yeah.
Gray.
Well, right. That basically turns into gray. True that. You don't want them to mix together. How about, I would go with more, I wouldn't go lavender. I would go more lemon.
Okay.
Like very light, pale yellow. Especially in the tooling and the front of her dress. And also,
And
yeah.
there are sparkles in there.
Okay.
In real life, there were sparkles.
Yeah, Melissa, honestly, I just think this whole area is a little bit too dark.
Where?
I think her shoulder and
Okay.
and the top of her tooling. And I get it. You don't want it to be all too light, or it's like that one. It's, but the tool, maybe this part that's facing these flowers, this part gets,
This?
no, the other part.
Okay.
Yeah, that gets a little bit lighter and right up above her head. Right up above her head.
More light.
Yeah, a little bit of the lemon, and then right on her chest, and maybe a little bit of highlight on her shoulder. Because it was, and that's it, like baby strokes.
Okay. So
And
we're
then do you think like you need more light in her skirt, or you think it has enough depth?
maybe use a little bit more, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing lemon, right?
Yeah. What do you have for lemon? You got like a white and a yellow. Are you doing pan pastel, or are you gonna do pigment stick?
Well, I don't know if I have white. And, oh, question. I have to interject this, because if I don't forget again. Is it ever okay to take either your pan pastels or your tubes of oil, get all the oil out of them, and then add them to encaustic?
Yes. So the way they do it in like Joanne Matera's book is they take a pad of paper towels, like fold paper towels 3 or 4 times, take a smidge of your oil paint, squeeze it out of the tube onto the paper towel, and then just let it sit there. And what happens is the paper towel secretes the oil, and then you just can take your palette knife and put it right into wax medium on your hot plate.
Okay.
What was the other thing you wanted to mix in there? Pan pastels?
Just
Pan
have to find
pastels
my
on top. Are you just talking about adding oil paint from a tube?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool.
Put it on the paper towel first and let it sit there for a few minutes.
Right. And guess that's it. Could have sworn I had 2, but I finally remember.
And then have you ever done, like, you can also take the pigment stick, put it on the encaustic fairly thick, and then hit it with the heat gun and fuse it right into there in like that kind of whatever shape, whatever pattern you made. I mean, it can go on pretty thick. It can be very painterly. I mean, you can literally just paint with the pigment stick. And then if you fuse it in there, it's going to dry instantly and just get absorbed by the wax.
Yes. Okay. I've been doing that, but I never asked anyone if it was good to do. I have this yellow.
Yeah, I love that yellow.
And oh, this is my other question.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so good.
Can you use these little pastels?
Yeah. Are they chalky pastels or?
No, they're oil.
Or chalk?
They're oil.
Yeah.
They're the tiny ones though.
Yeah. I mean, you can use like the woody crayons. You can use those. You can use, yeah. I mean, I just don't think that they get much traction on the wax. I mean, if anything, I feel like I would get more out of them if I like rub them really hard on a piece of paper, rubbed them with my finger, and then rub them into the wax. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I get much traction from those on the waxy surface.
Okay.
But you could use those under the wax write directly on your paper.
Right.
Right. So I was working with a woman yesterday, and we did some watercoloring on her collage before she waxed, and that really helped her a lot to loosen her up and sort of get that like painterly look
Yes.
going with her collage, because a lot of times it's just hard to like make the collage and start with the wax and think about what's going to be softened, what's going to stay realistic, like what's going to be a color, what color. There's a lot of there's a lot of questions there, a lot of decisions to be made.
Okay.
Okay.
Going in with this on the dress.
Okay. Did you do any little mark making?
Well, I've got a lot there.
Okay. It's hard for me to tell from the Zoom. Okay.
It's really hard. It's really hard.
I need like the magnifier zoom lens.
Okay, I'm gonna make some full. Okay, let's just scrape some of this off.
And then if you want, you can add a little bit of olive oil, coconut oil, extender stick to really get that in there, because I'm not sure that you really want to change the overall color of the dress or overwhelm it. So really push that paint into those spaces. Also, before we end, let's review what we did in the beginning, because my record didn't go on until about after we did the translucent layer.
Okay.
Just so we remember.
Yeah.
For our daily log, for our encaustic class log, like the starship, right? The Star Trek, like our daily odyssey into the atmosphere. Our art log.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea. It's really nice to keep track of. It's amazing too. And I think about, like, that's why I love my phone gallery, is that because Google keeps it by calendar date. And then I can go back like, oh yeah, June 2019, I was in Canada teaching this awesome workshop. You know what I mean?
I know. Exactly.
Like, yeah, I wish. That was such a good trip. Oh, that was not a good trip for you.
It took me 52 hours.
That was not a good trip for you, Melissa, my darling. Took you what?
52 hours to get home.
Why?
They tagged me as an undesirable by the Canada Air, because I had a flight set to come home at the end of the workshop, but John went in and made me a new reservation. He was here in Savannah in his laptop, so he made a new reservation for me to come home earlier, and that triggered a lot of suspicion by Canada Air.
Really?
And now that I think about it, I knew that I was being
what were you doing? You were injured. You had like an animal bite on your leg. You could have had a blood infection.
No, I almost had a blood infection.
Yeah. Hello, your life was in danger. What is suspicious about that?
As soon as they must have had my face up because as soon as I
Oh my
came
God, wanted. Oh my God.
I'm serious. They do have the people that as soon as I walked in, somebody took my boarding pass
Yeah.
and circled the triple S as in Sam, status of my reservation.
Right.
And from then on, I was marked
Wow.
for 2 days.
Oh my God. In the airport for 2 days?
In a hotel during the night.
Yeah. Wow.
They wouldn't book me into Atlanta at all. All of the reservation desks, they were handling a lot of flight cancellations.
What was going on? Was there bad weather? What was going on?
No,
It's just dumb.
I don't know. I have no idea what was going on. They had a immigration emergency,
Oh, okay.
whatever that is.
At the airport at that same time? It was just some
Yeah.
random immigration emergency? Yeah. That had nothing to do with you. You're
Nothing.
like, oh my God, can you guys call me when this is over?
They wouldn't even wait on me at the desk to try to move my flight. They kept saying, go sit down, go sit down, go sit down.
Oh my God.
For an entire day.
Oh my
I
God.
better take care of these people. Go sit down, go sit down.
Oh my God.
You
should have just stayed with us.
someday I'll tell you the whole thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, with a big, huge bottle of wine. Yeah, but you should have just stayed with us. I could have just driven you back home. And the amount of time that took, we could have easily driven to Atlanta.
Yeah, but you weren't ready to leave yet.
No, I was working. But shoot, Jake could have just driven you. He was just hanging out.
He was supposed to, but Heather said that he had to do something else. But he was supposed to. But I did take a van that Heather found for me and took that to the airport.
Yeah.
It was across the street from where my brother and sister-in-law live.
Oh, in Canada?
Oh.
That's so funny.
Oh, yeah, it's funny.
But you didn't get to
Not funny.
Wait, what's not funny? Your relationship with them? Or are you not friends with your brother right now?
No, not at all. When his wife is there, everything is fine, but he doesn't want to do anything.
Oh. Is he depressed?
And
Yeah, does he suffer from depression?
actually, when I got home, I did.
No, does your brother?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what you're doing.
Okay. Well, not a whole lot, but
It's a little.
I do this. Is that better?
Yeah.
More?
Better. Yeah. A little bit more, like right here on the top of her shoulder. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Just a little bit right there. You can hold it up and do it. Just hold it up and do it. I think it's close. I think we should let it go. I think you should live with it.
So, there you go.
Yeah, better. Do you love it?
I sort of do.
Sort of. Come on. I sort of love it. I love it. So hold it back one more time. Okay. So my last and final suggestion is the upper right corner, my right corner, your hand with your watch on it. That's your left hand? Your left hand? What if you take because now we have this directional light coming from that upper left-hand corner, right?
Okay.
What if we take like a white pigment stick no, the other corner.
Okay.
Is that your right or your left?
It's my left.
Okay, yeah, your left. So what if we take a little bit of a white pan pastel or white pigment stick and just that upper corner as if the light was coming from that corner, like I showed you those pictures in the creek where the light could be coming from here and around, not over the green, but the green can be in front of the light, as if the light is backlighting it, but that it's shooting towards her face, which makes perfect sense, right? So because Melissa, if you look, all of your corners, all of your background color is the same color, peachy orange, right? It's all one color.
Yeah.
So it needs to have gradients of color within that orange, right? So the right side is darker, like over here is dark. That makes sense. Now this could honestly, for me, could go a little bit darker, but this side has to go lighter. But no, not down there, above it. Just in the upper, yeah, just that whole, and look, it's like a ray of light, like shooting down from that corner, right? So you could
I worked on this thinking that the light was behind her.
No, the light is behind her, but I think it would be nice if it just glowed out a little bit in that one direction. I see it behind her. It's beautiful. But I feel like if it opened up, what I also like to do is I like to okay, so I think we talked about this, but I can't remember, but I talk about this a lot within compositions. And I tell people that like my nature is like this, that I like people to travel through my artwork and up and out. So I tend to like to have, like, this is a perfect example. I tend to like to have an out.
Right.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
So they're going around, they're going around, they're going around, they're going around, and then they're going out. Right? So as if we were like a moth, we'd be flying around looking for the light to get out the top, right? So maybe it's just metaphoric for me, but it's a suggestion because I find it compositionally effective, and it's like philosophically feels good for me to have. Some people are very geometric or oval, or they're looking into something. So that's fine. If you don't want that, if you want that outside edge to be dark and the light to be coming from behind, that's fine. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because it really matches in with what's going on here. It just carries it through.
And it could just simply be like that light behind her is reflecting up and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an option. So
yeah, I agree. I'll do it while you're sitting there.
Yeah, and let's go back. Let's just review what we did today. So this is the first time you actually took it upon yourself to take a large piece of drawing paper. It can be literally, I mean, I don't recommend using newsprint, but it could be any type of drawing paper, construction paper, I mean, you don't want to waste your watercolor paper, but any type of
the paper that comes out of the packages of sheets that you buy.
Yeah.
They put all those acid-free sheets in between there.
Oh, so yeah. Okay, so any type, even the brown craft paper, right? I used from the roll. So you can make handmade stencils. So you can make shapes, oval shapes, squares, right? You can mask them. You can tape them down, right? And then you can do translucent layers and kind of create vignettes, right? Really, or gradients, just sort of color shifts, right?
Right.
And it's nicer, I think it's nice of the encaustic to feel like something goes under and something goes over.
Right.
And then what happens is you get like a separation, right, of clarity, almost as if you're using like a soft focus lens or something like that. And you can keep all your shapes, like, and then remember how you had the outside edge of the oval?
Yes.
Well, that could be used in another painting, right? Yes. Where you make, the inside, you do a translucent glaze over the inside.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Can't tell completely, but I did lighten it. It's hard to see.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just more movement, and it just allows you to follow those kinds of nice curves and then go up and out the top. Yep. It creates a little bit more depth between the right side and the left. Yeah, I think it's perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, I really like it. A+.
I really, really, really had to work hard to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, like 10 days hard, like
Oh, it's
5
good.
hours.
Yeah.
Because I knew, no, that's not right. Let's go in and do it this way. And I was writing down all my processes that were changing, that weren't the usual thing that I did.
Right.
So, and I did that all very deliberately. So I feel like I really grew
That's awesome.
from this piece.
I feel like you really grew from this piece too. And I feel like your layers and your levels and your subject matter and your composition, I think everything is really, really good. I love that. I love it. Okay, so what are you going to do another, what are we going to work on next?
We're done today, right?
We're done today. I'm going to record
It's number 3.
What are we going to do next?
Well,